If you have a house in Springfield, Ohio, and you want to sell it easily, conveniently, and still get a fair price, this is the video for you. My name is Steven Solomon, and I'm with Comfort Living Buys Houses. And since 2013, my team and I have been buying and renovating properties around Springfield. This is where we live. In this video, I'm going to explain why so many sellers in Springfield choose to work with us as a direct buyer instead of going the traditional route and working with a buyer that that needs a mortgage, a lender approval, or some other sort of financing. With us, it's different. And what makes us real special is that we are an as-is buyers. That's first and foremost. What that really means is that you don't have to fix anything. So there are no weekend trips of going to Menards or going to the lumber store or going to Ace. You also don't have to, go out and try to hunt down a good handyman that's not going to pocket your money and, run out to the liquor store the next chance he gets. There is no money coming out of your pocket. Additionally, there's no cleaning, so you don't have to, go get the Glade plugins and douse your house in Febreze. Nothing like that. You don't have to mop. You don't have to, get a dustpan. You don't have to, pick anything up. You don't have to worry about people going in and digging through your stuff. Nothing like that. Anything you want to leave behind in the property, you can leave. We will handle it. Zero questions asked. Most importantly, again, there's no money coming out of your pocket for the last minute fixes, the little items that come up when you are getting your house ready for sale. We are a true as is buyer. We are not wholesalers. So we've bought houses that in the past that needed a ton of work. And, these houses were very rough. Some were inherited, some were vacant houses. Some houses have been vacant for years and years. And we were still able to, work out a deal. But we've also bought houses that need very little work. And that's fine too. We're still interested. We are an as-is buyer because we are backed with cash. So we are a local private company and we can buy with cash. That means we do not have to depend on a mortgage company. That's where a traditional buyer, sometimes can get risky. I'm not knocking every buyer, but there are plenty of good buyers out there with good intentions. But, when you get a bank involved or a mortgage company involved, things can get really complicated really, really quick. So, it can introduce delays. It can introduce all kinds of repairs. And ultimately, this adds up to stress and complication. So ultimately, the first thing that the bank or mortgage company usually wants is an inspection. And when an inspector comes through, they're going to pull out the flashlight, the magnifying glass, and they're going to coat over everything. They're going to spend an hour plus looking at your home. And ultimately, they are going to come back and give you a big list of things that things are wrong with the property. From there on, the buyer is going to use that as leverage. So we not only buy a lot of houses, but we also sell a lot of houses. So we deal with this stuff every single day. So what these guys will do, they'll come in, they'll say, hey, 4 of these windows aren't working. The AC, kind of looks a little filthy. The flooring could be replaced. It's only 5 years old, but could be replaced. The roof, there's one missing shingle, so we want a brand new roof. That's the kind of stuff that we deal with. A lot of the times the bank can also have their own inspection, via the appraisal. From there, if the appraiser says, this property cannot qualify for a mortgage if X, Y, and Z is not done. Additionally, with the appraisal, it could be cut short. So that introduces delays that, could make the whole process fall through. And ultimately, this is bad for you because this leaves you back at square one. So, but now you've wasted a whole bunch of time and you're still paying for taxes, insurance, repairs, and whatever stress you thought that you were getting off your shoulder, unfortunately, it's still on. Um, but yeah, ultimately, the sellers that sometimes do try to go the conventional route, a lot of the times they come back to us and they even admit like, hey, uh honestly, I probably should have went with you the first time. So if you want a fast, easy, and convenient way, um we are the people that you should be talking to. Yeah, because every day that you don't close, you're still paying, utilities, insurance, taxes, maintenance, or other holding costs. And all this is avoidable. We buy directly, one buyer, one seller, no games. We're not one of these wholesalers that's, trying to get you in contract and, sell it to the next investor. We're going to treat you fairly. And if your house is in Springfield and you just want to see what your options are, give us a call, 937-915-3737, or visit us online at comfortlivingbuys.houses.com. We're local. We're here. Our office is at 1131 North Murray Street. Please give us a visit. We know the neighborhoods. We know the house. We know the repairs. We completely understand, you know, what it takes to get these houses fixed up. Um, and ultimately make the new buyer feel less nervous about purchasing an old home. And we have a large stock of older homes in Springfield, Ohio. So when we get on the phone, it's a real simple conversation. We just need to learn a bit more about the house in Springfield and understand your timeline. Ultimately, you stay in control. You tell us when you want to close. If you want to close quickly, we can help with that. It's no problem. We can close really in as fast as 14 days. If you need a little bit more time or more flexibility, just tell us and we will do our best to work, around your situation. So because we are cash buyers, we can make the process very simple. We will look at the property, make you a fair cash offer, and if it works for you, great. Yeah, we can move forward. If it doesn't work for you, there's no problem. We can shake hands and still be friends. There's no pressure. There's none of this fake urgency that a lot of other investors use. No call centers, nobody calling you from Pakistan or India. No games, no gimmicks, nothing like that. And I get it. I get the same text and the same calls as everyone else does. People say they want to buy your house, random numbers, out of state companies. They use all these weird call centers from overseas, and they don't even know Springfield. Honestly, they have no idea what they have. Not even the first thing about Springfield. I'm not saying that they're all bad. I'm saying you deserve to work with someone local, reputable, and someone experienced who knows, the market. If you have a house in Springfield and you want a fair offer without repairs, cleaning, inspections, appraisals, and all the really unnecessary headaches, give us a call, 937-915-3737, or visit us online, comfortlivingbuys.houses.com. Again, my name is Steven, and I look forward to speaking with you.